We, the general we being the community and the staff and the library director even before me, knew long ago that Round Rock was growing. And at the rapid pace that we've been growing, we knew we needed a new facility to grow with the community.
I'm Scott Smith. I am an architect with PGL Architects, and I was the project designer and project architect for the Round Rock Library. My role in the project was mostly design related, and as the project evolved and became real, making sure those design decisions that we made early on in the project were fully realized, and kind of logging some of the important parts and pieces and sticking to them. The different steps to complete a project like this, you would first, depending on your situation, need to acquire money either through a bond or fundraising or something like that. And then you'd select a design team. That takes a number of months depending on kind of the arrangement there. And then really once the designer gets on board, usually about 3 months for what's called schematic design, another 3 months for design development, and then typically anywhere from 4 to 6 months for construction documents. And then at that point, there's different ways to deliver a project, but what we did on this project is we took it out to bid, public bid for a contractor, and then they were selected. And then a pretty standard build time for something like this is 18 months, give or take. And so, yeah, all in, you're looking about 2.5 to 3 years is pretty standard for a building this size.
So my name is Maureen Arndt. I am the founding principal of 720 Design. We are a small architecture, interior design and planning firm that specializes in libraries. So we were asked to be part of the PGAL team as the library programmer, space planner, interior design, and furniture consultants. So basically anything that really related to library functionality was in our wheelhouse.
Throughout the beginning, starting process from the strategic master plan to the bond and to selecting the team that was going to help us design, our library team, the staff, volunteers, the managers, the people who are on the front lines every day working with our customers, they designed this building.
So this is the southwest corner of the project. This was identified pretty early on as kind of the most prominent corner. Downtown Round Rock's behind us, and so we really wanted the building to open up to this corner. The way we did that was with this ribbon that really starts in the iron spot brick and then kind of goes up and over and becomes the backdrop for the front door, which is where the Round Rock Public Library sign is. At night that lights up, so it's a light box, kind of a marquee sign that really identifies where the front door is if you're approaching as more of a pedestrian. In order to kind of break up the mass of the building, this glass box here on level 2 creates a covered portion at grade for a cafe space. And then on level 3, that great wraparound balcony for views and outdoor space up far into the building. The choices for the exterior design, kind of materials and aesthetics were driven by a desire to have a natural look, kind of the local architecture and local just appearance of this area. Has a lot of limestone and a lot of kind of red clays and things like that. So the terracotta panels were identified as a product that they look good for forever. They virtually don't age. And then of course glass to get a lot of light in and out of the building. And then the kind of limestone features were harkening back to kind of the natural topography and natural rock formations in the area. It's a bit of an unusual setup with kind of a truly four-sided building. And we had a great client that didn't want this to just be kind of a garage in a building, and so there was a lot of focus in how you connect the two together. So there's this canopy piece that really starts on the other side, this kind of silver canopy, and then loops up and over the parking garage elevator and stair core. And then just the 3 sides of the garage are really dressed up in facade materials. So there was an important focus on the user experience. So when you park in the garage, you come down this stair or elevator, and then you've got a completely covered walkway into the building with the plaza off of the walkway, kind of in between the two.
I'm a very visual person, and PGAL and 720 really helped with providing renderings of what the building was going to look like. We also had a virtual reality session which helped our team with the perceptions of what the spaces were going to feel like as best we could, and that helped shape what our perceptions of what the building was going to be, and also helped us with problem solving and with going back thinking, well, maybe we need to rethink this area and how it's going to look. And I think that really helped with the success of the project.
So now we've just come out of the garage and we're about to enter the building. There's this great courtyard space at grade. It's a public courtyard, it's open all the time. And so as the massing of the building really came together, the gap that is formed between the building and the garage building, we used meeting rooms at level 1 to kind of create this block in between that frames this courtyard. And so this became a big organizing factor for really the whole site.
After we engaged the staff to understand their challenges and really understanding their kind of boots on the ground knowledge of what the community is asking for, we also did discovery tours. So we traveled to 4 different libraries of similar size in urban environments with parking garages to understand the unique challenges and opportunities that exist there, and identify some trends and understand what of those library trends really made sense for the city of Round Rock. We also did a lot of data gathering. So in addition to experiencing the space, we asked the library to provide data like, what does your collection look like now? What are your forecasts for what your collection will look like in the future? What's your average checkout rate, so we know how much we have to plan to actually store in the building? Library stacks take up the most space in a library, and so understanding that early is really important.
This is the lobby space as you walk into the building, so that's the front door. Right as you walk in, the main front desk is right in front of you. If you have any questions or you want to check a book in or return something, you can do it there. The core is just beyond, so it's easy to find. And then in terms of the different levels of kind of openness and vertically, so as you come in, the canopy kind of relieves to a larger vestibule space, and then as you wrap around that corner, it really opens up and becomes the 3-story grand stair.
From an interior wayfinding standpoint, there's really 2 important factors to pay attention to in a library. It's important for the patrons to easily move throughout the space and to also know where to go to ask for help. So it's important for us when space planning to make sure that the elevator and the stair in a multi-story building are readily accessible, as well as the reception desk. So in designing the space, we decided to place the stair directly adjacent to the main entry, as well as the level 1 reception desk.
So this is level 1 of the library. On this floor you have holds, new books, there's 2 large tech classrooms, public computers, an interior book return, and then the 3 large multipurpose rooms.
Early on, we did a lot of community engagement with different demographics, speaking with teens, children's and mothers, families, older population, to understand their specific needs for the library, not only how they currently use the library, but what do they want to see in a brand new library within their community. Level 1 is intended to be kind of a community hub for all demographics to gather with different learning spaces. Level 2 is intended to be children's and teens, and then level 3 being adults. But we didn't want those spaces to feel disconnected, so you'll notice there's a lot of connection between not only interior and exterior, but interior and exterior between the floors. So I enjoy standing on level 3 in a study room, looking down on level 2 children's discovery garden. So it's that transparency. That's why we have a lot of glazing in this building, that connection between the different demographics, but while also maintaining their own space from, a noise standpoint and just an activity standpoint.
So as you get up the grand stairs, this is what you see. This floor has teen space and children's space. It also gives you access to the outdoor roof deck on top of the meeting rooms on level 1. This floor is all about kids and teens.
PGAL did select a lot of the ceiling details and finishes. So understanding what it is that we were starting with, understanding sort of this open space, lots of natural light, making sure that we had colors that could hold up to the brightness of the natural light, and also interior lighting. It's all about compatibility and cohesiveness, and how do you provide a space that makes sense, that you're not moving from one floor to another and you stand there and go, I don't get it. What was really great, and this was also a lot of direction from the library, was creating that foundation we talked about in carpet. And a lot of times in library, the carpet is the biggest impact for the space because you have so much natural light. You don't have a lot of walls to place color on. So the fact that we had this base color, this sort of gray toned base color, as we refer to as sort of foundation, that was consistent through all the floors. And then we went in and just, as I said earlier, just added color that gave that emphasis in those particular areas that needed it.
So this is what you'd see as you get off the grand stair for level 3. This is the quiet floor. This is also where the adult books are located. And there's a quiet reading room, a couple of conference rooms, and just overall, this is kind of where the bulk of the adult book collection is located.
Previously, I had sat down with different design teams. I had architects come into my office, sit down, and tell me what I needed to do and how I needed to do it. And that was not who I needed to work with. I needed a team that was going to be able to listen to what we needed, what our vision was going to be, and what our community wanted. PGAL and 720, they actually listened to us individually as a team and the community, and took those ideas, put them on paper, and helped create what we're sitting in today.
We like all of our libraries to really fit the culture and the uniqueness of each community, and having so many people come out, not just on opening weekend, but as you walk around the building a month after it's open, everything is checked out, and the study rooms are full and the conference rooms are full. There are classes happening. I think that's what I'm most proud of, is that the spaces work the way they were intended, and the community is really excited to experience it all.
To me, opening day is a testament to the resounding success of the project. The community was just so receptive to the building, and each time I've been here since, there's lots of people in all the spaces. And so with a building like this, we have our own goals and aspirations as architects and designers, but ultimately it's the community's building, and so they seem to be super happy with it.
It's beyond just doing a job. It's the passion of why we do what we do, and the ability to make sure that we're executing and helping the library in the city really make something part of their vision that they've been looking at and thinking about for years.